Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode on the Entrepreneur Series. And today we have Darshana and Sunaina, and they are the co-founders of Energy Weight Studio and Cafe. So thank you very much for both of you to be, being here. It's my pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Welcome. We
inviting
are also
us.
happy being here.
Yeah. So before starting and beginning this session, it would be wonderful, if you can give a brief a note about yourself and what you do, and how did it begin by one. It would be wonderful.
So I think Darshana can start
Sunena,
first.
you want to start?
No, you can
Ah,
start, then
okay.
I'll go.
So, so my name is Darshana Nahata. I've grown up in Vizag. My family is originally from Rajasthan, Bikaner. My dad is a hotelier, an artist. So I think, I have grown up seeing a lot of art, a lot of hands-on work,
Okay.
and my love for food as a kid to what it is today has eventually grown during the span of all these years. So I always had this dream of opening my own cafe. Healthy food, we started, when we started in 2017. That was when our first outlet opened. We felt, conscious eating, clean eating, healthy, fibrous food was a need of the time, need of the hour, basically. So we thought, why not, open a cafe where we can have people come in, enjoy food, what you really like to eat, whether it's youngsters, elders, seniors, something which appeals with everyone's taste buds, and yet on the healthy side, colorful, appealing, appealing to your senses, basically all your five senses, so you can relish and enjoy. And also a place, the ambience being such that people from all age groups can really enjoy that space itself, whether it is someone just writing a book, doing your thesis, reading, just doing work from the cafe or something like that, kids coming and playing, seniors enjoying their time. So that is how we came about the concept of Energy Weight. Then we added studio spaces to it also, where we felt studio spaces would add a lot of value to our venture. So we do take a lot of classes there: dance, yoga, tai chi, karate. We started off with a lot of classes, and eventually also a lot of shows started coming in: comedy, stand-up comedians, dance recitals, musical programs. So these started music jams. They started adding a lot of value to the outlet in general, and people started trickling in, and the venture moved forward like that. Apart from that, individually I'm a graphic designer, so working with all the different aspects regarding interiors, design work. It was a lot of fun doing that as well for the cafe. And curating the food is my main role at the cafe, is what I do, apart from making sure everyone is comfortable enjoying. So that is something I've really enjoyed doing for Energy Weight.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Nina, you may go ahead.
Yeah. So I come from a corporate background. So we have been into mining and logistics. So this was more of a passionate venture. So
Okay.
as Darshana put in, she is the core and heart and soul of Energy Weight. The entire menu has been curated by her. I have been the troubleshooting person, managing the finance, the admin, the operations, basically coming in whenever there's some troubleshooting required. So it is majorly what she has spent much more time in it than me. I was the one just giving it structure and backup and troubleshooting. So it was always a desire to create a place, since I've been into fitness, where people realize the value that taking care of themselves 1 hour a day saves you a lifetime of misery. So the
True.
entire space has been created around based on experiences. I mean, it's a full shot ecosystem wherein kids, adults, people across all ages can come and enjoy. We've managed to bust the myth that healthy food is bland and boring. So we offer a lot of variety. In fact, the entire world cuisine in a healthy avatar. So it's like colorful momos with vegetable purees, or healthy pizzas with amaranth, or you could say a garden salad or a ragi pizza, gluten free crackers, healthy cakes. anything you ask for it, and we keep changing our menu also seasonally. So basically it's an eclectic cafe with a lot of nice quirky interiors with studio spaces where you keep on having a lot of interesting activities. So there is something in it for everyone to enjoy, because as human beings we need variety. So that's
True.
how we have strategized and planned this space. And we have currently two outlets, one in Kormangla and one in Jayanagar
Okay, great.
in Bangalore.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you for that, wonderful intros about yourselves and information about the cafe. So, how this, like at the beginning of the stage, how this idea began to, open your own cafe? How this idea even came into your mind? What was the story which led to you to think that a cafe which is healthy, but also something which is fun? How this whole idea began?
So Darshna and I are cousins. So she had just come over one day and we were sitting and discussing. As I told you, I wanted to open a space related to fitness. So I was just discussing with her that this is the idea of opening a space which is quirky and where people enjoy their fitness routines, or at least have the realization how important fitness is.
Mhm.
And she came up with the idea that I always wanted to open a cafe. So at that moment we decided, why don't we fuse the ideas, and that's how the fusion of Energy Weight Energy plus Rejuvenate was born.
Okay, okay, great. And what was your major difficulties, problems, and what did you guys go through, and what were the um, processes, and how much time did it take to all happen, and what was the whole story of creating this wonderful place?
So Darshna had
So
a
I guess
background in
plan.
food. Yeah, Darshna, you can go on.
So deciding and planning, the planning stage took say around 5 to 6 months, when we decided, put all our thoughts on papers, put it forward as a business proposal, marking out income, expenditure quarterly, why this is what our targets are, these are what our goals are, planning out expenses, set up expenses, finding a place, understanding how much money needs to go into deposit, how much money needs to go into rent. Basically, planning all our expenses to understand, firstly, most importantly, whether this business actually makes sense. When we realize it does, after putting our thoughts on paper, we started getting more constructive towards it, working more towards the menu, tying up with a lot of instructors, finding them who's good with aerial yoga, who's good with Pilates, who's good with different, who was more popular in Bangalore. Since our essence was studio and healthy food, we started getting more deeper into understanding the business skills required to run it. After that, then once we found the place, we started getting busy with the interior. Since we already had chalked out our budget, we know what equipments we need to purchase, how many tables. So then we started getting busy with that, and finally we launched it. So I think trouble wise, what you're asking, what are difficulties was, firstly finding the correct place which works favorable for any business like this. Secondly, setting up. Thirdly, marketing and launching a new product like this in the market, which in 2017 was favorably very very new. Understanding would people like it, what is the correct way to market it to get business coming in, for people to start trickling in, how to make promotions on Swiggy, Zomato, how to push online sales, how to get into social media. So this is I would say a journey of a lot of do's and don'ts, a
Okay.
lot of learning coming on the way.
Mhm.
But yes, it was very interesting.
Okay, okay. And what guys what did you learn as being the co-founders of the cafe? What did you learn personally, both of you? So Nana, you may
I think what
Darshana, you go ahead. Yeah, you may.
I'll start
Yeah, yeah,
first.
sure.
I think what I learned most importantly, that you have to learn each and every aspect of your work. You have to be very hands on. If any business you're running, that is the only way. Where you need to cut down on expenses, where you need to improve, and where you need to scale.
Okay.
understanding the tempo of the clients coming in, what are they liking, what are they not liking, interacting with each and everyone personally. The initial 1 year, I think dedicatedly needs to go into this. And this is a very, very big learning, understanding all aspects from serving to cooking to making to understanding how your studio activities running, bookings, social media, how to advertise, how to market. It's like you're all in one. But then you need to find right people, because only if you understand that work, whether it is operations or marketing, then you can hire those kind of people for your organization to grow. This is what I've learned tremendously. I think
Okay.
Sunena can also add her points.
So, for me, personal learning has been identifying the right kind of people who can do the right things. Business, I don't think so. If you do one business, the other, the basics are the same. But yeah, each business has its own idiosyncrasies and the nitty gritties which need to be known. But overall, it is finding the right combination of people and having an eye on the cost, as Darshna pointed out, and having a model in place. How do you grow further, and then you take it forward? Because bottom line for entrepreneurs should always be profit.
Okay. Okay, sure, sure. The next question would be, like, what was the how was it for you guys when these pandemics were there and these nationwide lockdowns were there in the country, and everybody was there at their home? So, as a cafe, what did you guys, struggle with, and what were the problems
Yeah.
professionally, and
So
what were happening? Yeah,
so as
yeah, yeah. I mean, you go
so
ahead. You go ahead.
as with all other industries, as with all other industries, especially food industries, we were definitely hit with this pandemic because there was a nationwide lockdown, and even after that, people were scared to venture out or order in food, which is now slightly easing out. So we definitely came up with new ways, focusing more on online deliveries, or like recently. Starting new stuff which could be catered easily, going to apartments and lot. I mean, in the need of the hour, what was required to be changed, we have adapted to that and changed it, so that if not the levels we were enjoying earlier, we are able to stay afloat, and in 6 months when the market sets right, we can get still going.
Okay, and what did this make you learn?
Pardon?
I think
Well,
more importantly, this, I think yeah, you can, sorry, continue.
yeah, sure. You may continue, Darshan. I'm really sorry to interrupt. You may. You may.
No, I think more importantly, what this made us learn is to become very adaptive. It is, this pandemic has moved each and every person in the world. I think affected everyone in some way or the other, making them a little more humble, making their lifestyles a little more, constructive, thinking about their health, their integrity, how they can do things. So we also, in these lines, following these same lines, we started adding a lot of immunity boosting foods to our menu. Till that time, before the pandemic stuck, we were not marketing, or we were not, our business was not heavily dependent on online sales, on Swiggy and Zomato. But we started understanding that this is also an important area. We were always very happy with dine in, and that was comforting for us to actually see people around. But we understood that there's somewhere we have to change our ways and go more into online marketing. We started doing home deliveries, also started reaching out to apartments where we could get bulk orders and deliver, especially essentials. We started focusing on our essential lines, which includes breads, homemade cookies, cakes. So these are all made with healthy ingredients, no maida, no sugar. So we felt these things could move in people who are not purchasing from outside, and these are staples, dips, crackers. So we started focusing more on these. Apart from these, on our online page on social media, we started doing a lot of workshops, free workshops, live workshops, the entire agenda behind which was learning from home. There should be no day where you're not learning. So we've got a lot of people on board, teaching and, sharing their stories every day. So the theme was live at 5. So every day, 5 o'clock, Energy would go live with someone new, some art, some craft, sometimes yoga, sometimes cooking. So a lot of interesting things we kept doing. So it kept us and also our clients uplifted. I think that
Okay.
was also huge.
Okay. And how do you think after these all the problems and you discovered new ways of reaching out to people and making a business bigger, going to more online what do you say, deliveries. So what do you think after these year, or maybe after this pandemic is over and everything is almost over and nothing is more left, how as a cafe, how as a place where you serve people food, how you are gonna change, and how what differences are going to be there in your company at a personal level? Sunaina, you may go ahead.
Yeah, so I think once the pandemic is over, like everybody's looking, we are looking back to this, and that too. Like now have had our expertise on online and this thing. So this has been additional to our business, and that will come back. So it really makes sense to be adaptive. And unfortunately, lot of cafes and food businesses have shut down during this, not able to cope up. So as entrepreneurs, like I had stressed earlier, the bottom line has to be that you have a tight eye on costing and profits, because if you're not able to survive, it is not like something where you just go round and round and you don't see what is your bottom line and keep going ahead, because that ultimately that doesn't work. Any sound business needs to make profit, otherwise there is no point doing it.
Okay, okay, great. And coming to the personal level of somebody, as you said, as a cafe, we are very much into serving healthy food, serving good food. So how do you think what things can people watching this or seeing this can add into their diets? What things could they cut down in their diets, which can make their food, what they consume, what they put into body, very good for themselves and right for their body? What ingredients could be and should be removed out, and what could be added in? Yeah, that would be my question. Yeah.
So that's a question Darshna will be able to answer the best, because she's the food expert.
Yeah, Darshana, you may.
I think it's very simple. We should start adding all foods that boost our immunity. I think which is right there everywhere. So our Indian spices are very good in this, whether it be cloves, cardamom, cinnamon. We should start adding a lot of these. Neem, tulsi. These are sacred, very powerful Indian herbs. We should definitely consume them. We get very good gooseberries, amla here, nelankai. We should consume that. That's very good. Adding a lot of fiber and lot of greens, variety of greens, which again is very easily available in Bangalore.
Okay.
Spinach, mint, coriander, methi, all those donte sappu. But adding all these kinds of things to your diet will definitely help flush all the toxins. In case you're catching some flu also, these keep your body, your bloodstream clean, flushing out the toxins ever since. And then eating more local things, so that we cut down on all Amazon purchases and controlling carbon footprints. That is also the need of the hour. We should support Indian economy. Mentally, that is also very helpful. Apart from
So
just
one
eating,
of the
we have to
USPs
control.
of Energyweight is that we have managed to make a local ingredients the hero in international food. I mean, have international cuisines and food using local ingredients, which Darshna has been able to successfully blend into. Say, for example, you have a Tibetan thupka with fresh ragi noodles rolled in it.
Okay, wonderful.
We also make momos with maize flour, ragi, jawar. We use a lot of Indian greens, but we serve pizzas also. But instead of maida, we make it with amaranth, sometimes with ragi, whole wheat. It's a blend of these things. So sometimes I just feel healing and also, developing your immunity is not only physically, it is also mentally. You need to be stress free, mentally need to be happy at the end of the day. These things itself add a lot of healing power, protection against a lot of unwanted flus, illness, any kind. Basically, we know this pandemic, I know it is a pandemic because it is spreading very vastly, but it's basically a flu. So, this is how you protect yourself. Apart from this, cutting down, I think if you just cut down on a little bit of the processed food that we eat, I think that's more than enough that we can do
What's the
within.
processed food, like which is the processed food which Indians consume at a very large
Process.
scale?
I think all the fried food that we consume, chips and namkeens, which are packed in a vacuum pack. See, sometimes we make namkeens at home. Those are not very, very processed. Besides the oil, which is again, processed, but otherwise all the ingredients are fresh. It's made fresh at home to eat. But when we buy it, like if we buy a namkeen packet or a bhujia packet from the market, it's processed 6 to 7 months before.
Hmm.
uh, Milk, Tetra packs, whatever products come in Tetra packs, those are high vacuum. They're sealed in a high temperature, vacuum seal. So these products have a lot of preservatives, and these are highly processed. And they are
Okay.
processed by very simply because they have to create a shelf life for that particular
True.
product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything you're buying off the rack, whether it be biscuits, cookies, jams, they last. Why? Because they are processed. Otherwise, the shelf life won't be so long. So, very simply, cut down. I know it is difficult avoiding, but if you cut down on the products, say if you're consuming 50%, if you even cut it down to 25% or 10%, it's at least a go ahead.
True. True.
It's a
Yeah.
step forward that you're making in your life.
Yeah. Very true.
And from this, have fresh juices, sugarcane juice, have a lot of fruits. They help build your immunity because they're very, very rich in minerals. So, any fresh juices, fresh fruits, vegetable juices, they're really good for your immunity.
Okay, okay. And you were mentioning about, carbon footprint and its need of the hour, and really agree to that. But how you think you guys at a personal level and at a professional level, you guys are able to, as a cafe, as a company, how you guys are trying to eliminate all the, all the pollution or all the plastic and whatever is there? How you guys able to eliminate it in the company? How you're trying to do that?
I think very gradually we are trying our very best to make the cafe entirely plastic free. We have moved from plastic containers to, bagasse containers and packing, reducing a lot of paper wastage. So now the only paper we have is when the guest asks for a tissue paper, we give it to them. Otherwise, we've stopped putting them on the tables, completely stopped the plastic straws and all. We were already using glass bottles earlier. But in gradually everywhere we can, we're trying to stop this as much as possible. Even purchasing vegetables, fruits, we are purchasing them from local vendors to help support economy. Also, when we are buying provisions, we are buying local produce. Like Sunaina had said earlier, our menu is made in such a way that we have a lot of international dishes, but we make it with local ingredients.
Okay.
At home also, I think our home today, if you see, it's becoming gradually, it's becoming zero plastic zone. I think that is a conscious effort that I've been trying to do, whether it is kids also, we are teaching them, that it's a need of the hour and we have to gradually take up and be a part of it.
Okay, okay. And maybe this could be a last question to you guys from my side. Is what would be your advices to anybody who wants to start their cafe or want to become an entrepreneur, start their own company? What advices would you like to give them?
So the first thing is do your homework properly, plan yourself and make a budget. I mean 6 months where you wish to be, 12 months down the line where you wish to be, because more than that it can't be planned, because basis the 6 months or 12 months only you will move ahead. So the first thing to know is know your finances, know your planning, and the kind of business you wish to get into it, thorough research of that. You need to have a USP in place, how you wish to go about it, and the right kind of network and the support system. And ultimately, just standing in front of a swimming pool won't help. So you need to jump into the pool and swim, and that is how you can work
True,
it out.
true.
Because there's never a perfect situation. You just need to jump and make the situation as per your convenience.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, Darshana, what would be your advice too?
I think my advice would be to first dream. That is very important, to dream as to what you wish to do. Set your goals, set your targets. Definitely, planning is very, very important. Market study is very, very important. And like Surena said, we need to set up goals where we wish to be in, when we are starting a business. Apart from that, one more point, what I'd like to add is build a strong team. You cannot do everything end of the day, but you have to learn each and everything for you to choose the right people to build up your team. A team you're comfortable working with, a team that makes you happy and they share the same energies what you have. That is also very equally important. And yes, together you go off.
Okay, great. So yeah, thank you very much to both of you guys. And
Thank you,
really, I
Lakshmi.
really enjoyed it. It was wonderful, and thank you for giving those advices and sharing your opinions about food and sharing your stories. And thank you, Sunena and Darshana. Thank you very much again. Thank you.